Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. An emergency meeting, people. Liverpool fans, we have got to sort this out. Liverpool suffered another defeat. 4 defeats in a row in the league. We are struggling. 7 points behind Arsenal. I mean, if this continues, we are not winning the league. Okay, I was convinced we're winning the Champions League. If this continues, I'm not going to change my prediction just yet. But if this continues, we are going to struggle to even do that. But the only thing is, right, the way Arne Slot wants to play, it's not working out in the Premier League. But in Europe, I think it's going to be a little bit different. Teams are not going to play as long. They're not going to play the same tactics as teams do in the Premier League. They're not going to be relying on long throws and long balls. So Liverpool might actually have a bit of joy in Europe. But the league, we're struggling, people. We are struggling. So what do you think? I mean, look, if you look at that midfield, that is the big problem. We can talk about the fullbacks all day long. Individual performances are not going well. But it's the midfield. We're too open. The midfield is the problem. We're not sustaining attacks. And we keep losing these games. We're giving up too many chances. 3 goals conceded the other day. Lads, come on. Not good enough. So yeah, I'm worried. I really am. We have got Crystal Palace on Wednesday night. Now that's a cup game. So he's going to make a lot of changes. Whatever happens, happens in that game. But Aston Villa game, it's a must win. We have got to win that game. But for me, it's almost getting to the point where I just want to see a clean sheet. Even if it's a 0-0, just a clean sheet. Sam says, welcome to the chat, Sam. I had to cut the Brentford game short because I didn't want to be late for the Formula 1 qualifying. I knew we weren't getting back into it. That is the big worry, actually, because if you look at the 4 defeats we've had, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Man United and Brentford, the Brentford game was the one where we never looked like scoring. We never looked like winning. We never looked like getting back into it. Whereas the Crystal Palace game, when it went 1-1, you're thinking, right, Liverpool can win this game. Same with Chelsea, same with Man United. But Brentford, we never, ever looked like winning that game. And as bad as we did play, we still scored 2 goals. So there's goals in that team. But defensively, we are so bad. Honestly. We should start Endo against Palace for some balance. We should just try something. Just try something, because at the end of the day, there's nothing else to lose now. What have we got to, it's just try something. Even Dave looking for some therapy after that performance. This is not really an emergency meeting. It's a group therapy session, the same as last Monday. I mean, honestly, people, when was the last time we were able to just enjoy a performance in the league? I mean, it hasn't happened this season. We were able to enjoy the performance against Frankfurt. 1-0 down in that game as well. But when was the last time? It goes back to when we won the league against Tottenham, 5-1. We were 1-0 down in that game as well. Oh, I don't know, people. Kevin, good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. Wow. Welcome to the chat, Kev. From Florida. That's mad. As long as Slot is in charge, we are screwed. Yeah, look, I don't agree with that. I'm not Arne Slot out at all. Okay, he's struggling. I think he had an idea at the start of the season what way he wanted Liverpool to play. It's just not working out. I think he's been a little bit stubborn. He won't go back because it's almost like admitting defeat. But it's getting to the stage where he just has to admit defeat because it's not working. We need to get back to winning games. I think there's no energy. We should be in the face of the other team. I hate to say it, but similar to the way we played under Klopp. Well, the season where we finished 5th, we could not cope with the counter-attack. It's the very same. But yeah, when you say that we should be in the face of other teams, we're not sustaining attacks. We're losing possession high up the field, which is fine. It's football. That happens. Teams are always going to give away the ball when they're attacking. It happens. But you can't be 1-0 down or concede a shot or a goal two passes later. It's just, the counter attack is where we are struggling. And Jurgen Klopp, the season we finished fifth, it was the same. Dave says you have to ask who bought Wirtz and Isak. They are not slot players, and he doesn't seem to know how to use them. Yeah, I mean, Alexander Isak is not playing well, and when he does play, he's not getting many chances. And as for Florian Wirtz, I mean, the man doesn't have a clue what to do with him. And he's not playing well either. I would put him on the left. I'd bring the midfield back from last season, put Florian Wirtz out on the left, take Gakpo out of the team for a while. Even though Gakpo is playing okay, he's getting assists, he's getting goals. But Florian Wirtz cost 100 million. You have to get him into the team. So I'd put him out there. Get the boys back in midfield. I said in my earlier video today, against Aston Villa, I want Ryan Gravenberch, if he is back, just sit there in front of the back four. Your job is to stop the counter-attacks. I'd even say to him, you are not allowed into the opposition's box. You are not allowed near it. Just sit there, protect the back four. Liverpool chat, hi mate, hope you are well. And you, welcome to the chat again. Every Monday night, people, 8 p.m, we're going to have a chat. Hopefully next week we can talk about a great performance against Aston Villa, 3 points. I doubt it. This is a good point from Joe. It started with Palace and hopefully it will end with Palace, yes. Now you're talking. We beat Palace, we're back to winning ways. Gary Neville is definitely being bitter, saying the title is Arsenal's to win. Obviously going to say that because doesn't want Liverpool and Man City to challenge them. Look, the man has been saying Arsenal are going to win the league for the last, I think, 3 years. So even if Arsenal were to finish 10th this season, he's still going to pick Arsenal because he just doesn't want to be proven wrong. So he's always going to pick Arsenal. Keep picking them until you eventually get it right. So he is hoping and praying that Arsenal win so that he can turn around and say, told you. But also, of course, he's hoping and praying that Liverpool don't win it and that Man City don't win it. I think he's the most unprofessional commentator there is out there. I'd stick him in the studio in Sky Sports. I wouldn't let him near any commentary box. So unprofessional. But Sky Sports encourage that. That's what they want. To stick a camera in the gantry because they want the commentators to be jumping around like idiots, like Rio Ferdinand used to. I think he's the most unprofessional commentator there is out there. Dave says, I almost think he has lost the dressing room. What's the talk about Virgil calling a meeting and excluding Slaw? I don't know if he's lost the dressing room. The fact that Virgil called a player-only meeting, that happens in every single sport. You know, you have a player-only meeting. So I wouldn't read too much into that at all. I think that's a good thing. The players need to be holding themselves accountable. So I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing from the captain. He's getting a lot of stick, Virgil. People are saying he's not the leader. Well, look, he's struggling at the moment, as is everybody. But how many times has he got his teammates out of trouble? Maybe some of them need to step up and help him. They can see that he's struggling. The likes of Kanate. Gary Neville being a traitor again. No true Manc wants Arsenal to win anything. Well, I mean, you look at Man United fans, they hate Arsenal, which is fair enough. There was a great rivalry years ago in the Premier League. They obviously hate Liverpool. They hate Man City. I mean, it's a bad time for them. Even though they're back to winning ways, they're back. But whoever wins the league this season, it's going to be a rival to Man United. What's going on with this yoke? Here we go. Good evening, David. Hoping for a win and improvement on our performance as Liverpool Football Club family. You'll never walk alone. Yeah, I think it's getting to the stage I just want to win. You know, the performances are terrible. I think he needs to just focus on a clean sheet. I think I'd love if he just came out and said, right, I'm going to challenge the players to keep a clean sheet on Saturday. Because, as I say, there's no problem with scoring goals. We played terrible against Brentford. Probably the worst performance of the season. Still scored 2 goals. So scoring goals is not a problem. It's just defending. We're all over the place. That midfield is terrible. Go back to basics and keep clean sheets. Yes, that has to be the focus now. Forget about trying to score 3 or 4 goals. I want a solid defensive performance against Aston Villa. You know, last season they were taking pride in their defending. They were taking pride in clean sheets. I've said it so many times. That game against Man City at the Etihad was my favourite of all the games last season because they were determined from start to finish to keep a clean sheet. And it was just, defensively, it was just a perfect performance. And it's just gone this season. They're not taking pride in defending. They're 1-0 down in every single game. It's the same thing every single week. We haven't kept a clean sheet this season in the Premier League. We've kept 2. One against Arsenal and one against Burnley. And that's it. And in the other games, we've conceded at least 2 goals. Am I right in saying that? Yeah, I think it's at least 2 goals in every game that we've conceded. Joe says 10 goals conceded in the league since the last clean sheet. 9 of them in the last 4 games. This has definitely turned into a group therapy session, people. It was an emergency meeting, but it's a group therapy session. This is terrible. This is depressing. 2 clean sheets in 8 isn't good enough. It's woeful. It's absolutely woeful. Arne Slot needs to be saying to these players, look lads, come on, let's get back to defending. Because Arsenal are proving it. They're the worst team in the league to watch. But they've only conceded 3 goals. Only conceded 1 goal from play. There was the Szoboszlai free kick, and then there was the Newcastle. Was that a corner or a free kick? I think it was a corner. Do you see us winning any of our upcoming games? I'm going to be honest with you. Christine, welcome to the chat as well. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. And I'm just being honest. Because let's get these fixtures up. Let's get these fixtures up here, people. Right, Crystal Palace in the cup. I don't mind that. Aston Villa are finding a bit of form. We know exactly what they're going to do at Anfield. They're going to park the bus, play counter-attack. Real Madrid, a big win against Barcelona yesterday. Man City. You don't know what Man City are going to do. Look, they could turn up. They could be brilliant. They could be terrible. Nottingham Forest. I mean, again, counter-attack. Sean Dyche, he's going to park the bus. PSV, Champions League, should win that. West Ham, we should win that, but we don't know. Like, even the games I'm saying that we should win, I'm not saying it with confidence. I'm really not. And that is harsh. James says, what do you think of this goalkeeper? Are you new to the channel, James? I have been very vocal about this goalkeeper. I think he is beyond average. That second goal against Brentford, lads, what was going on with that second goal? It was a disaster from start to finish. Now, Ekitike gives away the ball. No problem with that. As I said earlier, it's going to happen. You know, a team that's attacking, they're going to lose the ball. It's going to happen. But you can't be conceding either a goal or a shot on target. Only, 2 passes later. Against Brentford, I think it was 1 pass. But why was Marminashvili? Why was he going backwards? You know, close him down. Even if he scores, okay. I mean, you know, the odds are in favour of the striker, of course. But close him down. Why is he going backwards? It reminded me of Dean Henderson when he was playing for Manchester United, when Salah was going one-on-one with him. He didn't close it down. And the goal is massive. What is he doing? Close it down. I mean, I was like, what is going on? And then, like, I don't mind the shot going in. He probably should have saved it. But Jesus, close him down. Make yourself bigger. Exactly. I thought it was the most amateurish thing I've ever seen. And I'm not a fan of him. Not at all. Benny says we've been sussed. Begrudgingly, I have to give credit to the other teams for sussing us out. Now it's up to us to adapt and change. I mean, Arne Slot is not helping the situation. Every single press conference, every single interview, oh, long balls, oh, the team didn't play out from the back, we can't press them, oh, set pieces. I mean, honestly, there's the blueprint on how to beat us. There you go. It's like, this is the way teams are playing. I mean, Arsenal are going to win the league just by set pieces. I hope that doesn't happen, by the way. So, I mean, other teams are looking at it and saying, well, look, if it's working for Arsenal, we'll do it. But it's like as if Liverpool at the start of the season says, right, we're going to play this type of football, the PSG way, because he's obsessed with PSG. And every other team said, what's the Achilles heel to Liverpool? Set pieces, long balls, long throws. That's what we're going to do. Every one of us. Arne Slot has to change. He has to change. Defence, Robertson, Virgil, Kanate and Gomez. Yeah, I said that earlier in my previous video. He just needs to get back to being solid. I'd give Gomez a chance at right back because he's not great going forward. He's more defensive. Andy Robertson as well. I mean, there is a mistake in him, but my God, Kirkes is terrible. Virgil and Kanate. But to me, it's the midfield as well. If Ryan Gravenberch is back, tell him, sit there in front of that back four and do not move. Eamon says we're too slow moving the football. Yeah, that's true as well. The build-up is too slow. And I think a lot of it is the fact that a lot of these players, they don't know what way Arne Slot wants them to play. It's just not working. The opposition has definitely sussed us out. Kirkes needs benching and so does Salah. Kirkes definitely does. The man is struggling. And I hate this, oh, what a goal that was. He's a defender, okay? And I tell you as well, there was a couple of times during the game where he got forward. It was just woeful. His crossing was terrible. So he is struggling. He needs to come out. Put Andy Robertson in there. As far as Salah, look, this is what Salah does. Salah had a terrible game as well, but so did everybody. But that goal was world class. And it's not getting the credit it deserves because we lost the game. But I do agree. I think he needs to come out because you can't be playing basically with 10 men. I mean, 9 men because Kirkes as well. Put in Chiesa in there. Premier League this year is all about physicality, something we don't have. I need to fix it. Upcoming transfers. Mo needs time out. Top 4 priority now for Mr. Slot. Love this club. You called champ. Don't know what that means. Anyway, it is. It's gone physical. And Liverpool, as I say, at the start of the season, it's almost like, right, we're going to play this beautiful style of football. And we're going to kill every team. We're going to score 3 or 4 goals. It's going to be the greatest style of football you'll ever see in your life. Another team says, no, we're going to bully you. Because you look at Florian Wirtz, for example. Every time he not every time, but a lot of times he gets the ball, and what happens? He gets muscled off it. It's too physical for them. Jamie Carragher talked about that. Salah needs competition for his position. Again, the man he's a legend. You know, who do you play there? I'd play Chiesa. I know it's not his natural position, but he can play there. But yeah, I mean, getting competition, genuine competition for Salah. I mean, he tried Frimpong there. Frimpong's injured now again. Liverpool chat. I honestly think if we get knocked out and lose to Villa and City, he will get sacked soon. Well, look, I don't want him to get sacked, but unfortunately, if the results continue, that's what's going to happen. So he's going to have to find a way to get a win. You know, just find a way to get a win. It can't continue. I mean, we were 5 points clear only, what, a month ago, whenever it was? And now we're 7 points behind. I hope the board gets in touch with Klopp, especially after he said he is open to return to Liverpool. Look, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see Jurgen Klopp ever coming back to Liverpool. I don't. Um, I think he said in that interview as well. I didn't watch it after. I was going to watch it. I never bothered. I think he said he had a decent relationship with Michael Edwards. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I think that was the reason Michael Edwards ended up leaving. And then when he came back, Jurgen Klopp gave a press conference and he was asked about it straight away and he said, no, I haven't spoken to him yet. And Michael Edwards the club had announced that Michael Edwards was coming back. So I don't know, I think there is a bit of tension between the two of them. So I don't see it happening. Angel has joined the chat. Hello, Angel. Take them late winners away. We have 6 points. Told you, lads. A group therapy session. Yeah, it's every single game this season, going into the 90th minute, has been up for grabs. Liverpool have either been only a goal up, a draw, or we've been a goal behind. So we could have lost every single game. We could have won every single game. We could still be unbeaten. It's just, it's like a basketball game, which is not good. With Salah poor form and Verts under-delivering, Harvey Elliott would have been very useful, but Arne sold him. Yeah, I think he would have been because he was very good off the bench. I mean, he's not working out from Aston Villa. I feel sorry for him. It looks like a real poor decision from him now. Was it his decision? I think it was his decision to leave because he wanted to play, which is fair enough. But I think he would have made a difference off the bench this season as well. It's a pity. I take him back in the morning. I said last season he wasn't good enough to start for Liverpool, and I think that's been proven. But off the bench, I always thought he was brilliant. Johnny says, who would have thought we'd see a day we have a worse left back than Alberto Moreno in Milos Kerkez? I mean, look, it's harsh but fair. He's been absolutely terrible. Defence, and the first game of the season, remember the first game of the season against Bournemouth? Diving in. We were all saying, he's just too enthusiastic. He needs to calm that down. And then against Newcastle, second game of the season, he actually did. He stopped that diving in. Defending at the back post, absolutely woeful. He hasn't improved. That's the problem. And the thing as well I noticed about him, he's all left foot. He doesn't trust his right foot at all. Against Crystal Palace. Now look, the whole team was terrible. I'm not blaming him for that. But the winner, remember the ball came across the box. All he has to do was clear it with his right foot. And he turns and hits it out for a throw. There was a moment against Brentford. He was the far side of the pitch. All he has to do is kick it forward with his right foot. He turns again and he kicks it out the far side for a throw in. He will not trust his right foot. He's all left foot. Eamon says Jones is hit or miss, but I tell you, I agree with this. But he's been our best midfielder this season. He's actually been consistent this season. It's a pity he got injured. Hopefully it's not serious. Angel says, yes, let's go backwards to Klopp, make it make sense. This kind of thinking that kept us from winning the league for 30 years, stuck in the past, FC. Yeah, look, Jurgen Klopp is not coming back. Even if Arne Slot got sacked in the morning, they're not getting Klopp back. I don't think so anyway. I'll be honest, I don't think they should. You always want to be looking for, keep moving forward. Kerkez is out of his depth. He's just not good enough. Let's be honest, people, right? I'm going to be honest with you. I said last season, during the summer when we signed Kerkez, that every time I've seen him, he's impressed me, right? But I did not watch every game last season at Bournemouth. I watched every game at Liverpool. And when you watch Kerkez last season, It's a lot of it is highlights, right? I wanted to show you in the highlights. Him scoring, him, creating an assist. That's not a fullback. Was he any good at Bournemouth? Like, Jamie Carragher put him into his team of the season. Right, fair enough. But did he actually watch every game? Because I don't think he did. So is this to be expected from him? I mean, I didn't think he'd be this bad. We need defensive reinforcements in January for sure. Absolutely. Mark Ahey. I read the other day he could be going to Bayern Munich. See, this is the problem. He really messed up with that one. But then even if you got Mark Ahey, which absolutely he would improve us, I still think the midfield is the problem. The fullbacks are the problem. Kirkes is 21. Takes time, lads. Let's all support team through good and bad. Yeah, look, we do. We're criticising them, which is allowed, because they're not playing well. But we definitely all support them. We all want them to win. Like Kirkes, I want that man to succeed. I want him to go down as a legend at Liverpool. I want him to go down as one of the greatest left backs we've ever seen. But we can't pretend. He just hasn't been good enough so far. But like I say, I want to be proven wrong. I hope that he has a great career at Liverpool. Kirkes was brilliant for Bournemouth. You all need to calm down. Yeah, look, hopefully he does start to come good. Because if there is a talent there, okay, it just takes a bit of time. The whole team is not playing well, which obviously doesn't help the likes of him, the likes of Florian Wirtz, the likes of Alexander Isak, because he's not getting service. But then you look at Ekitike. He's hit the ground running. So, look, hopefully these players start to get going fairly soon. Johnny says I'm sick of it. I think we all are at this stage, because you see the talent in that team, and as well the expectation. The expectation at the start of the season. Now, I personally didn't think we'd win the league because I said too many changes. We're going to see up and down results. But a lot of people picked Liverpool to win the league. We were all excited. I was excited because even though I didn't pick us to win the league, I just thought the amount of talent that we have. And it just hasn't happened so far. Kirkes is trying too hard. Yeah, he probably is, to be fair to him. But he definitely needs to work on his right foot, because he's too dependent on that left foot. Do you still think you win the Champions League? I'm going to say yeah. I stick with that. I've been saying it for months. I said it the day after the Champions League final. PSG beat Inter Milan. Made a video. Said Liverpool will win it next season. And that was even before we signed anybody. So I'm going to stick with it. But they're going to have to improve. But I tell you, I mean, Frankfurt are terrible. They are. But the way Jurgen Klopp wants to play, it looks like it's not suiting the Premier League. It's too physical. But in Europe, it could be different. Teams are not going to play that style. All set pieces and stuff. I think we overachieved last year. Look, we were the best team in the league. We deserved to win the league. But there was a lot of changes in the summer. Trent is our biggest loss. He could find Salah. Yeah. Look, we do miss Trent. We do. But unfortunately, he's not there. And the right back is a problem. He needs to stop playing Szoboszlai right back. He needs to stop that. I'm sick of that. He done it the other day. And it just, look, Szoboszlai, I was harsh on him after the game. I shouldn't be making videos after Liverpool lose. Too emotional. But I was harsh on him. But you see what he brings when he's in midfield. The man never stops running. But when you put him in right back, it only takes two players not performing. The whole team looks poor. It's true. But it's not only two players. I mean, even Van Dijk is not playing well. And I think it goes back to the midfield. Like, for me, Zubimendi has made a huge difference to Arsenal this season. I mean, I was watching the game yesterday. It was terrible. But Zubimendi for me is class. He really is. And he moves the ball so quickly as well. Angel says, you will all see very soon just how things will change. Getting new players that fast was always going to take time. Also, remember last season, not one person seen us winning anything. Yeah, that's true. Very true. Look, it does take time. But I don't think any of us expected us to be this poor. And also, to me, the midfield is the most important part of any team. And Liverpool's midfield wasn't changed. That's a big issue for me. It's trying to get Florian Wirtz into that number 10 position. It just hasn't worked yet. So hopefully with a bit of time. But, like, I mean, how much time do you give it? We can't keep losing. Gravenberch, Endo and Soboslai. Yeah, and just tell them. Tell Gravenberch and tell Endo. Do not move away from the back four. The thing is, after Wednesday, he reverted back to his favourite starting 11. He just isn't learning. I mean, it worked against Frankfurt. It was like a 4-4-2. It was to get Isak and Ekitike into the team. And unfortunately, Isak gets injured. I wonder if Isak was able to play on Saturday, would he have went with that? I doubt it. But, yeah, it did. It worked against Frankfurt. But then, Frankfurt are terrible. Fabinho, Henderson and Gini were monster pressers. Bert's better outright. Stick Mo up top with Hugo. That midfield, again, it goes back to the midfield people. Like, people talk about Jurgen Klopp's team, they talk about the front three. But honestly, that midfield, it made everything tick. The fullbacks were able to get forward without worrying about what was behind them. Because the midfield. And the midfield this season, it's just non-existent. You know, like I said before, when Liverpool have so many players up front, they're going to lose the ball. It's going to happen. It's football. But you can't be conceding a goal with only, 2 passes. And it's been happening. I mean, Crystal Palace should have scored at least 4 goals in the first half against us because we kept losing the ball and then we're just wide open. That cannot happen. Midfield is so important. Need to get back to a midfield that works hard. Absolutely. I think it'd make a huge difference. Against Aston Villa, even forget about scoring. Just keep a clean sheet. Keep the faith, lads. Thanks for the live chat. Great. Sean from Wexford. Thanks very much, Sean. But yeah, definitely worried, people. Definitely worried because, you know, all of us, right? We're all Liverpool fans. We all want Liverpool to win. We're all coming up with ways to try and make the team win. But Arne Slot has probably been a little bit stubborn because he had it in his head at the start of the season. This is what we're going to do, and this is going to work. And it's not working. So if he was to go back to what makes us, in my opinion, what makes us the best team in the league, is he admitting defeat? Is he going to be a little bit stubborn that way? Liverpool chat says, every time a player left us for Spain, we won the Champions League the following year. That's not the reason I picked us to win it, but yeah, it's a good omen. I tell you, I think the Champions League is there to be won anyway. You know, PSG, there is still weakness in that team, in my opinion. I mean, they are brilliant, but there is weakness in that team. Real Madrid, definitely weakness. Barcelona concede way too many goals. I think the Champions League is there to be won. And if Liverpool can just get it right, they have enough talent on paper. They have enough talent to win that Champions League. But if they don't get it right, Nice to see the channel growing. Thanks very much. Yeah, it's been going well now, to be fair. Only started the start of last season. So, yeah, it's been going really well. I think the board will give slot till Christmas, maybe sooner. It all depends on results. We've lost 4 in a row. If that then becomes 7, let's say 7 in a row, because we play Aston Villa, Man City, and who was the other one? Is it Nottingham Forest? Say it becomes 7 in a row, 7 defeats in a row. I mean, I don't want him to be sacked, but I tell you, he would be under serious pressure then. Slot said if he had a choice, he'd rather win the Champions League. I mean, it's great that he has the Premier League in his back pocket already, so it's great that he can say that. But I honestly think Liverpool can do something in the Champions League. I think the Champions League is there to be won this season. I can't. I mean, PSG are probably. Well, they are. Well, no, Arsenal are favourites, aren't they? But I don't know. I think Liverpool in the Champions League, Anfield, knockout stages. I mean, I think it's there to be won for Liverpool. I really do. Benny says he'll be gone if he hits 6 in a row. So Aston Villa and Man City. Yeah, that would. Or sorry, Aston Villa, Real Madrid, and then Man City. So would you count? I wouldn't really count the Crystal. If we lose to Crystal Palace in the cup, I'd almost kind of discard that because he's going to change the team. He's going to change the team. But if we were to lose to Crystal Palace, or sorry, Aston Villa, Real Madrid, and Man City, that would be tough. That would definitely be tough. Noel says slot is safe, but we must finish in the Champions League place. This is non-negotiable. Yeah, we cannot finish outside the top 4. To spend that much money and not get the top 4, that would not be good. Angel has picked her team. Woodman, Gomez, Virgil Kanate, Robbo, Dominic Soboslai, McAllister, Endo, Verts, Chiesa, Ekatike. Let's get some old and new legs in the team. That's not a bad team. What's Woodman like? Is he a decent goalkeeper? Because he'd be an improvement, in my opinion, for Marmadashvili. Johnny says, I think we'll have to beat Arsenal to win the Champions League. Yeah, I'd take that. Arsenal in the Champions League over 2 legs, as long as it's not the final, because they'll park the bus. But over 2 legs, say if it's a quarter-final, semi-final, honestly, I'd have no worries. Anfield in the Champions League. Podge says, I said it at the start, it could be next season before we get to see the best of this team. I said it could be next year, so like the second half of this season. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. So if Liverpool were to, let's say we win the Champions League. Let's say we go on a run second half of the season, win the Champions League, hopefully. We're definitely winning the league next season. European champions. We would have got it going to win the Champions League. We need to go back to Atletico and Everton first half team setup. The first, what was it, half an hour against Everton was probably the best we played all season. Now, we were 2-0 up after, what was it, 10 minutes after Atletico. But the game was still a little bit end to end. But against Everton, that first 30 minutes, I thought we were excellent. And then, as soon as we went 2-0 up, that was it. We were kind of hanging on then. Everton then got a goal. And then we really were hanging on at the end. Slot has got 2 weeks to sort this out, or I think he'll be cooked otherwise. I mean, losing 4 games in a row, and then you probably wouldn't have picked any worse fixtures to have after that. Aston Villa, who are finding a bit of form, great win for them yesterday. Real Madrid, who, as I say, beat Barcelona yesterday, and then Man City. And like I say, Man City, they're very inconsistent this season, but they could turn up in that game. They're at home. I mean, you couldn't have handpicked any worse fixtures after the 4 defeats. It's going to be really tough for them. Sam says, I've said I ain't fussed about retaining the league this season, but can't have boring Arsenal win it with no competition. I wouldn't watch any of their games unless it was against a top 6 side. I watched a bit of their game yesterday. Look, they're winning. They don't care. They shouldn't care. They're winning. It was another clean sheet. Oh, be Lord, they're terrible. Absolutely woeful. I mean, honestly. Crystal Palace started the game fairly well. They had a couple of half chances. But Jesus, lads, they are terrible. Arsenal are the worst team to watch. But as I say, this is not a criticism of them as far as them trying to win the league. Because if they can win it that way, they'll take it. But just as far as, football, if they were to win the league, I mean, if Arsenal win the league playing that way, you can forget about the Premier League being the best league in the world. You can forget it. Angel says, one thing I don't like is the team is not all being used. We need some competition between the players. This is how they will drive each other to win. This is absolutely spot on. Mo Salah needs that competition. He needs to know that if he doesn't perform, he's not going to play. But unfortunately, at the moment, doesn't matter what Mo Salah does, he's playing. It was a world-class moment the other day against Brentford. But then you have Chiesa, who's played well, and he can't get a start. So I think that is a fair criticism of Arne Slot. Tim says, I'm struggling to think of 5 good performances since last February. The fact we won the league at a canter masked some of the bad performances last season. I think it's caught up with us now. Yeah, that's spot on. First half of last season we were unbelievable. Remember those fixtures that were really tough? We had Real Madrid and Man City and the likes of Brighton away and Aston Villa at home. We were unbelievable. We didn't lose any of them games. We won the majority of them. And then around February, I don't know whether they knew the league was done, and I don't know. Noel says, I watched El Clasico yesterday just to remind myself what actual football looks like. The Premier League right now is pure mud. It's terrible. It really is. Like I say, if Arsenal win the league playing that way, fair play to them. Okay, and their fans will be delighted, and they should be. But if they're the champions playing that way, you can forget about it. The Premier League is not the best league in the world. No way is it. El Clasico was a good watch. Can't wait to watch my team not being able to string 3 passes together. It's unfortunately true. But like I say, watching the El Clasico, I watched a bit of it. I don't think Barcelona, Real Madrid are great defensively. That's why I think the Champions League is there to be won. Chiesa won Player of the Month, yet hasn't started in the Premier League this season. Sell Mo in January if money is good. Is that a fan vote? Because if it's a fan vote, obviously Chiesa was going to win it. I think it is. But yeah, it's mad to think he hasn't started a game in the Premier League. Noel says, rugby union fans are loving the Premier League right now. It is, it's just long balls. Set pieces. Teams are celebrating when they get a throw in because they have a chance of a long throw. Brentford, to be fair to them, look, that's their strength. I mean, Keith Andrews, I hope he does well because he's Irish. As well, the criticism he gets from the likes of Roy Keane and Martin O'Neill at top is way over the top. You could tell by them they want him to fail. So obviously I wanted him to lose the other day, but I do want him to do well in the Premier League. But he's playing towards Brentford's strengths. It's long throws, it's set pieces. But the Brentford crowd the other day, when they got a throw, they're celebrating. I mean, best league in the world. I don't know. I don't know. And I think Arne Slot is shocked by what's happening in the Premier League because I think he was thinking he was building a team that was just going to play such great football. Teams weren't going to be able to cope, and all of a sudden they said, as Noel says, we're going to play rugby union. If you're going to try and play football, we're going to play rugby union. We're going to be physical, and we're just going to play for set pieces. 1-0 to the Arsenal won't be no good when teams are catching them up. Look, they're 17th in the league for open play goals this season. Now, it's only 9 games, but 17th. Is it sustainable? I don't think it is. I mean, if Arsenal were to say, let's say, I don't know who they're playing next, but let's say the next 2 games, because they're so good defensively, let's say they were 0-0. I mean, the criticism that they are going to get because they're not scoring. But at the moment, it's working for them. So they're not complaining. And fair play to them, it's working for them. But as soon as the set pieces, if teams start to figure them out, set piece wise, who knows what's going to happen with Arsenal. But I tell you, I was watching a bit of the Arsenal game yesterday. Declan Rice, his deliveries at corners and free kicks. I mean, I was looking at it and thinking, you see Gakpo taking a corner, and it's like, does he even practice them? I mean, it's never near any of our Liverpool players, except against for Frankfurt. We should have sorted a new left back and backup for Mo for start of last season. Yeah, but probably, probably. Definitely for Mo last season, the start of last season, because of the contract situation. We didn't know whether he was going to stay. But we still haven't got backup. Like proper backup. But who do you get? Semenyo in January. Although he plays on the other side, doesn't he? So yeah, who do you get for Mo Salah? Look, as far as the left back, we all thought Kirkes was the one. I did anyway. Thing about Arsenal is their set pieces dried up last year and they ended up with 10 plus draws. 14 draws they got in the league last season. 14. Yeah, you're just looking at it thinking, right, teams have to figure it out. They have to. I mean, you can't keep scoring these set pieces. It's a great weapon to have, but the thing with Arsenal is that's their identity. I'd love Liverpool to have that weapon, a set piece, a brilliant chance to score. But that's not what Liverpool are about. But that is what Arsenal are about. That's their identity. It's just set pieces. But it's working. At the moment, it's working for them. Gakpo and Hugo are over 6'3", yet both dire in the air. They're terrible in the air. I mean, I'm still thinking about that header that Gakpo missed against Man United. And now they're above us. How did we let that happen? We were 8 points clear of Man United. And now we're a point behind. They're back. Like the standards for that club have dropped. It's not about winning leagues anymore. It's just about finishing above Liverpool. Julian says, I would rather watch Payne try than watch Arsenal. Honestly, yesterday, watching Payne try would have been more exciting. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. But sure, as I say, look, it's working for them. They're desperate to win the league. If Mikel Arteta thinks this is going to win the league, as the season goes on, like we're 9 games in, is it sustainable? We'll find out. Kevin Moran was 5'10". He would have had his granny. Yeah, it's true. I mean, this thing that Liverpool have no height, right? Okay, but still, I mean, Football is a physical game. Like you look at Kirkes there the other day, right? He's not the biggest player in the world, right? But look at the way he was marking at the back post. One, he never ever looked at the Brentford player, and two, he never even got close to him. Excuse me. He never even got close to him. May take a drink. So his height didn't have anything to do with the fact that it was just poor defending. Podge says the first half of the season, Arsenal only won 2 games from teams in the top half of the league. Who were they against? Arsenal winning games with set pieces for the entire 50 plus games, no way that's sustainable. Look, you'd like to think so. The opposition have to figure it out. As I say, it's a great weapon to have, but it shouldn't be your identity. Noel says, Gakpo keeps pulling out challenges. We're learning a lot about a few players this season. Meanwhile, Soboslai looks up for the fight every week. Absolute warrior. Yeah, it was a bit harsh on Soboslai the other day. He never stops running, to be fair to him. But yeah, Gakpo is, he's kind of like a one-trick pony at times, isn't he? It's just cut in on the right-hand side. What did you think the other day? Was it a penalty? I think the one on Gakpo, okay, right, you can understand why it wasn't given. But the penalty that Brentford got, I thought was an absolute disgrace of a decision. I thought it was an absolute disgrace. The referee gives a free kick. It's supposed to be a clear and obvious error. It's supposed to be a high bar for a penalty as well. That's gone out the window as well. I mean, I've watched the replay about 4 or 5 times. I'm still, is it on the line? Is it outside the box? I still don't know. But yeah, it's supposed to be a clear and obvious error. I thought it was an absolute disgrace of a decision. I really did. Loving the channel. Well done to you and all the listeners. Tough summer, all pool fans, players. Keep the faith. We're trying. We are trying. Look, we'll always support them. But it's okay to criticise them. We can always criticise. This is a good comment here. Why is it not working? Okay. There we go. Our 42 games played in 2025, 23 of them have been poor. 9 of them average. 10 have been good. Team performance has not been great this year. That's true. That is true. The last time we played well was against Spurs when we won the league. 5-1. Close to the edge says, I think Slot has lost the dressing room. When you see the captain calling a meeting, that says it all. No, I disagree. I disagree with that because this is professional sport. It happens. Players only meeting. That happens the whole time. So no, I think it's a good thing that Virgil is doing that. That to me shows leadership, and it also it shows the players are holding themselves accountable for what's happening on the pitch. It's not just blaming the manager, blaming the coach, and all of that. The players at times sorted yourselves, have a player only meeting. So yeah, no, I don't mind that at all. I think that's a good sign that they had a meeting about that. The only angle shown a Virgil penalty against was from behind. Didn't see a side view. I seen a side view, and I could not tell you whether it was inside or outside. I could not tell you. I mean, you're never 100% sure when the contact is made. So when the contact is made, was he outside, was he inside? You just can't tell. It definitely wasn't a clear and obvious error. I thought it was a disgrace of a decision. I don't think there's been a lot made of it. I think actually Mark Goldbridge did call it out. I think. I might be wrong with that. Maybe somebody did. But I thought it was a disgrace of a decision. Like, how was that clear and obvious when it took them so long to check it? And no Brentford player shouted for it. And when the referee announced, the VAR, The Brentford, you could tell by the Brentford fans, they were even like, what's this about? What's going on here? I thought it was an absolute joke. But look, at the end of the day, look, it was a terrible decision, but Liverpool got exactly what they deserved. Because the amount of chances Brentford had, free headers from about 6-7 yards, and to put them over the bar. Would everyone sell Mo in January if Saudi came with big bucks? That's a good question. That is a very good question. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. I think he still has enough credit in the bank. He's the type of player that he could go and score in the next 10 games. And maybe it's just, it's just a bit of the fact of what he's done at the club. Maybe he is finished. I don't know. But no, I wouldn't sell him. The player's body language is very concerning. It is a bit, to be honest. But we've lost 4 in a row. So they're going to be down. They probably feel like no matter what they do, they're losing at the moment. It's a bad habit to get into, but it is a habit. And winning is a habit as well. So if we can just get a few wins in a row. Caleb says, yes, cash in. Yeah, look, I'm still hoping that Mo turns it around. It was even outside the box. I saw a pic today of when contact happened and it was clearly outside the line. See, there you go. It wasn't a clear and obvious error from the referee. The referee gave a free kick. Not one Brentford player said that was a penalty. But the VAR should not... Has Howard Webb come out and said something about this yet? Because I'd be very, very interested to see what he says. Because for me, I thought it was an absolute disgrace of a decision. If they offered 100 million plus for Salah, we'd be mad to turn it down. Yeah, look, if they did offer that money, yeah, I probably would sell him. But I don't see that money being offered. But yeah, I mean, for that money. But I'm still hoping that we see the real Mo Salah. Because it has happened before in his Liverpool career that he's gone this long without a goal. Or maybe not this long, but he has gone long without a goal. And then all of a sudden he goes on a run. Joe says if it's that unclear, VAR should stick with the ref's decision. VAR shouldn't have got involved at all. Because it was not a clear and obvious error. I really thought it was a disgraceful decision. Kev says Gakpo should not be a guaranteed starter. He's a squad player. Good for rotation. Slot has undeserving favourites. That messing up the team. He definitely has his favourites, and Chiesa is not one of them. And Chiesa has definitely earned the right to start. I mean, he has to start him. He'll start him against Crystal Palace. He was man of the match in the last cup game against Southampton. Okay, it's just Southampton. But still, he's playing well. Reward him with a start. I mean, give him a chance. It can't get any worse. Kavanagh was on VAR. Of course, he's going to get involved when it's us on the receiving end. I mean, honestly, Howard Webb needs to... I'm very intrigued to what he's going to say about that. To me, there is no way that was a penalty. When was the last time Endo played? He came on against Chelsea. And when it was 1-1, and when he comes on, you're thinking, right, Liverpool are going for the draw. But the other players didn't get the memo. There was half the team were still trying to win the game. The other half were still trying to defend. The last time he started, I think, was against Southampton, and he was terrible. So he'll probably start against Crystal Palace. Dermot says, have we really played well in the league since about February? No. One game. The Tottenham game. How can Chiesa get player of the month and can't get a start? Yeah, I think it was. I'm nearly sure that player of the month is the fans' vote. So, I mean, it was deserved. But I think the fans were kind of sending a message. I'm nearly sure it was the fans' vote. I think the fans were kind of sending a message. Salah, especially, is still more than Diogo, more so than the others, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you. Absolutely. But then he needs to come out with a team. The manager needs to say to him, look, it's best if you sit a couple of games out, come off the bench. Liverpool chat, it is a fan vote. Yeah, there you go. I think it was the fans kind of sending a message to Arne Slot. He he deserves to start. But look, it's not. It definitely wasn't a case of he didn't deserve it or anything, because you have to say he did. We love Federico Chiesa. I mean, he's becoming a cult hero at the club. He really is. But Arne Slot, unfortunately, doesn't like him. Fede for the captaincy. I love Chiesa so much. He has so much enthusiasm. If the rest of the players had the same enthusiasm, I think we'd be in a lot. I wouldn't say we'd top of the league round, but I think we'd be in a lot better place. I'm giving Slot at least until the end of the season. He's England champion. He deserves at least a season pass. I mean, I do agree with this, but only if we stop losing. Because, what do you give it? Like 7, 8 defeats in a row, and all of a sudden, I mean, he's going to be in trouble. So he needs to start winning. But yeah, I don't want him to be sacked. Because at the end of the day, people, if Arne Slot gets sacked, that means that Liverpool are going to keep losing. And I don't want that to happen. The man won us the league last season. He is a good manager. But I think, as I said before, he had this in his mind of what way Liverpool were going to play this season. And it just hasn't worked out. Maybe he's at the point now where he just doesn't want to admit defeat. And he's getting a little bit stubborn. Julian says, Kia is a player manager of Liverpool. Maybe one day. You never know. Liverpool chat, we have too much talent to not turn this around. Yeah, I'm thinking the same. I really am. I mean, we're all just expecting it just to click one day. And I thought it was going to be the Frankfurt game. I was thinking, no, this is it now. Brilliant football. We're scoring goals, creating lots of chances. And then it's almost like 2 steps forward. And then it's a step back again. And it's just a terrible performance. And it's just the same thing over and over again. Nunes was great at passing and creating chances for the team. Slot should have figured out how to get the best out of him instead of disposing him. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I do. But, I mean, last season, remember the chance he missed at Aston Villa? Everybody, absolutely every Liverpool fan were saying, Nunes has to go. He has to go. So, honestly, I don't think it was a mistake to sell Nunes, because every Liverpool fan, if I had said to you, right, Nunes is gone and Alexander Isak is coming in, everybody would have said, yeah. Everybody. And a lot of people would say, that's never going to happen. It did happen. It's just not happening for the team. Every time I watch videos of Liverpool's training, Maka always quiet and alone. It seems like he doesn't have a friend anymore. He used to talk and laugh a lot with Darwin and Lucho. He actually mentioned this in an interview, that he misses them. So I'm hoping it's not that, because if it is, he's just going to leave. I know Real Madrid are linked with him, but there's such a player there. He's just not playing well. He's like everyone. They're not playing well. But the talent that is in that squad. Dermot says, do you think if we had sold Salah and brought Kane in there, Um, we'd be in a better position now. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, Kane he's a different player to Mo Salah. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that, to be honest. It's a good question. I mean, this season, you'd probably say, yeah, we would be in a better position because Harry Kane is playing well at the moment, and Mo Salah's not. So, yeah, we probably would be. Slot rushing Kirkes into the lineup was a huge mistake. Now, Robbo was well rested. He needs to change it. Yeah, I think we all agree with that. Look, I said earlier, we all want Kirkes to succeed at Liverpool. I want him to go down as one of the greatest left backs Liverpool have ever had. But he's just not playing well. And Andy Robertson is there. He's ready to come in. So I think we have to go back to Andy Robertson for a while at least. Sam says Van Dijk definitely getting on a wee bit, but needs some defensive backup, either Gay or two centre backs in January. I mean, look, this was the big worry. Van Dijk not having a great season. He's not having a terrible season. The players around him are definitely not helping him. But he's not as good as he was last season. And because of that, Kanate never steps up. You know, Gomez had his chance against Southampton in the Cup, and I mean, that didn't work out at all. He was very poor. So yeah, look, I mean, I feel sorry for Van Dijk because it always has to be him. He is always have to be man of the match. He always has to be 10 out of 10. You know, when he doesn't play well, you're looking at other players. Okay, he's not playing well. Help him out. And they never do. Noel says, big decisions needed soon to bring money in, as some serious investment is needed. January transfer window is massive, and another big summer will be needed next year to put this squad right. I mean, I can't disagree with you, but it's mad to think that with the money that was spent. Donny says, Sky Sports put up a stat that Liverpool are in the top three for long balls played against the team. Man United, 75 passes. Crystal Palace, 71. Bournemouth, 70. Were they targeting Kanate's form? They're targeting Liverpool's defence because of what Arne Slot has been saying. And then it's not even just what he's saying. I mean, it's what's there. You know, you can see it's evident. We're struggling against the long balls. We're struggling against set pieces. So, of course, even if that's not your style, if you're playing Liverpool, you're going to change it for one game. Liverpool chat, we are going to be so much worse without Van Dijk one day if we don't have replacement. I mean, honestly, people, I don't want to think about it. I mean, where would we be without him? I mean, you can see the drop off this season because he's not playing well, because Salah's not playing well. If it wasn't for those two last season, we don't win the league. Our defensive problems comes with Salah. We played with 10 players because of him, benched him at a 4 midfielder, and we will be balanced. So yeah, I understand this comment, but last season, Mo Salah was the reason that we won the league. And he said to Arne Slot at the start of last season, look, I'm not going to defend for you, but I'll win you the league. And he did. This season, he's not doing that. So you're right. It's like as if we're playing with 10 players because he's not tracking back enough. So he needs to either come out with a team or he needs to change. He needs to change that about his game. He's going to have to start defending as well. Some Liverpool fans in Sky Sports News today are saying we are not in crisis. We are. Me and you can see it, Dave. We've written our title chances off because we lose 4 in a row. Not a coincidence. Yeah, it's not even the defeats, it's the performances. Because even the first 5 games that we won, we could have easily lost those games. We could have easily got a draw on every one of them. So to me, the defeats are obviously going to be, you're going to say a crisis because of the defeats, but it's been coming. This is the problem. You know, it's no big deal to lose a game during the season. You're going to. But it's the performances for me. These results were coming. Why does our midfield look non-existent and players allowed to carry ball so far before anyone bothers to put a tackle in? I mean, the midfield is non-existent, and that's the problem. We're still asking too much of Van Dijk. The man's got miles on the clock and age creeping in. He can't do it all on his own anymore. It's true. It's true. I mean, honest, Virgil van Dijk is getting a lot of criticism, and it's not fair. He's not playing well. But where would we be without him? Honestly. And the consistency the man has shown. Could this be anything to do with Van Bronckhorst? He was at Rangers one time, was terrible. Yeah, I was thinking about this today actually. I seen something online about this. People were talking about getting Johnny Heighton back, but he's struggling. An assistant manager, I've never really given a lot of thought about because Alex Ferguson, how many did he have? And they all went on to become managers and they didn't do a thing. So for me, the assistant manager for me, like Pep Linders, I mean, he thought the success was down to him. He becomes a manager. He doesn't do a thing. So I don't think it has much bearing on what's happening. I really don't. I never really held the assistant manager in much regard. I mean, he takes training, but he's training the way the manager wants them to train. So it's Arne Slot. No team has won the league with more than 6 losses. Yes, it's technically not over, but realistically, we're going to get beat again. We have lost as many times as we did last year already. Yeah, we're not winning the league. The league is gone. We're 7 points off Arsenal. I just can't see us going on that run that's going to even put pressure on them. And I'm not saying that the way Arsenal are playing is sustainable, but the way Liverpool are playing is just terrible. Ahmed says Bronkhorst went to a Europa League final with Rangers and is Dutch and is clearly not the problem. Yeah, I don't think he is. Honestly, I just think that system manager. I mean, I could be a system manager. I mean, they don't do much at a club. I think it's the most overrated position in football, if I'm being honest. Last season we had Diaz and Nunes defending and covering for Salah. Now Ekitike, Isak and Wirtz will not do his job. You have to pick between Salah or Ekitike to make the team balanced. Yeah, or Salah's going to have to defend. Because it was alright last season. He was winning us the league, he was scoring goals, creating assists. But if he's not doing that this season, he's going to have to start defending. We're going to have to start defending as a team. We can't carry him. I don't care about the league. We just need to be good again. We have 4 competitions to compete with. Yeah, absolutely. Just start winning again. Ryan says, at this point, I'm blaming the Adidas kits. I don't think they're great. I'll be honest. I thought last season's kit was gorgeous. Now, Nike didn't do... some of the Nike kits weren't great. But I don't think Adidas is great. And I'm a big fan of Adidas. As you can tell, I'm wearing one. But I don't think it's great. They've had better. Noel says, I'd love to know what Liverpool's plan is for life beyond Virgil, sooner rather than later. It can't just be an 18-year-old currently out with an ACL. Yeah, I don't think they're even thinking about it, to be honest. I mean, maybe this season now maybe Mark Gahey was the one. But we're not getting him. I mean, I hope we do. But yeah, I mean, Virgil was the one. Kind of changed. Virgil and Alisson, probably Fabinho, that front three, that changed everything at the club. Congrats on growth of the channel. Thanks very much. Time's it now, 9:15. Back to work tomorrow, people. It's bank holiday today. Day off. Tomorrow's like Monday now, even though it's Tuesday. I'll be shocked if we get anything against 115, but you never know. International break after that game as well. That's a disaster. Because imagine if we lost that game and then you're into another international break. Sam says, I'm not fussed about the league as long as Man United don't win it. But I'd rather see underdog Sunderland Bournemouth challenge and play boring unlike Arsenal. Well, Man United are back. If you haven't heard, they're back. 3 games in a row they've won. But no, defensively they're all over the shop. Arsenal winning the league, sadly. Let's hope we find form just in time to compete for the Champions League. Yeah, I'm hoping we do. Angel says, I think you all need a hug. It's a group therapy session, I'm telling you. Liverpool chat, I'm more annoyed that nothing seems to have changed, even with a break between this form. It's the same thing every game. Every single game. We're scoring, but we just can't defend. And if it goes on, we're talking mid-table, people. We're in a top 4 race. Unless Arne Slot does something to sort it. Look, it's still early in the season, which is a good thing. So if he is going to solve it, we could go on a run. The talent that's in that team. Christine says, is it realistic to think Man United could win the league? What a nightmare thought. To be honest with you, Christine, I don't even want to think about it. That would be a disaster. I would rather Arsenal win it than them. I'd rather Arsenal win it, never scoring an open play goal again this season, winning every game 1-0 with a corner, than seeing Man United win it. There are talks the contract extension for Slot is off at the moment. Thoughts? I mean, 5 games into the season, they were going to offer him a brand new deal. But they're just waiting. Our next, 4 games or whatever it is, if they don't go right, that'll be 8 games. I mean, you'd imagine we beat Crystal Palace on Wednesday night. But then Aston Villa, Real Madrid and Man City. As I said earlier, you couldn't have handpicked a worse set of fixtures after you lose 4 games in a row. So if that becomes 8 games in a row, I don't want this to happen, but the club might make a decision. Ahmed says, give it time, people. I will start to be worried around January, February. Yeah, look, as I said, it's still early in the season. So if you're going to go through a bad run, let it be this time of the year. Hopefully he gets it right. Thurman says, hope Alisson is back soon. I think he's back after the next international break. That's the 50th international break of the season already. We're only 9 games in. I absolutely despise them. But hopefully he's back. The most injury-prone goalkeeper in the history of football. Is Slot brave enough to bench Salah for more than 1 game? No. He benched him against Galatasaray. He benched him against Frankfurt. So obviously in the Champions League, he's going to give Mo Salah a bit of a rest. But he's not doing it in the league. And then Mo with the world-class goal the other day. I mean, Arne Slot is probably thinking, well, we can't drop him. Because look what he's capable of. But to me, it's the overall. It's actually the 109th international break of the season. Correct. It was on Sky Sports actually after the last international break that FIFA or UEFA or whoever is in charge were trying to come up with a different way for these qualifiers to be a little bit more exciting because everybody hates them. Everybody. England don't play anyone. England win every qualifier to play because they don't play anyone. Ireland are absolutely useless. January, February is about 13 games away. I think things will happen way before that, unless we turn this around. Yeah, 13 games when you're not playing well is a long time. Julian asks, what's more boring, international breaks or Arsenal? Arsenal. Can you imagine Arsenal playing international football? Wow. Kadir, God bless everyone. I'm off for tonight. Thanks for joining. Ahmed says the only thing that is kind of confusing me is he bought two attacking fullbacks and he's using them to use them high up the field. That pre-season game against Bilbao sold us a dream. Played quite well that day. Was that the one at Anfield? I mean, Kirkes is not, look, he's struggling. He is. But the reason we were all excited is because of how great he was going forward. I mean, he hasn't been allowed to do that. Now, he did get forward a bit against Brentford, but he didn't do much. But he hasn't really done that in games. It's almost like he's told, right, everything is going on the right-hand side. So, Kirkes, you just have to defend. Sorry, but you're not allowed to go forward. And it's taken away from his natural game. It's plain to see Arsenal playing most boring football because nobody is breathing down their necks. Yeah, they're under no pressure. Under no pressure. And you know, when people are saying that, I'm reading today, Arsenal now are 4 points clear. You stop. 4 points clear. They're 6 points clear of Man City. They're 7 points clear of Liverpool. They're 4 points clear of Sunderland and Bournemouth. They're 6 points clear, people. They're 6 points clear at the top of the table. This is relegation form. Hold me Dave, I'm scared. It's relegation. It's relegation form the last 4 games, but it's relegation performances since the start of the season. But there's too much talent, people. There's too much talent in this squad for them not to play, not to never get it right, if you know what I mean. So it's just a matter of time before the performances start to come. It's just Arne Slot needs to get it quicker now because we can't go 6-7 games without a win. I really think selling Diaz was a mistake, especially after the Jota tragedy. Gakpo has no real competition, and we've lost that defensive cover on the left. I mean, Diaz ran for days. He really did. He was one of the hardest working players that Liverpool ever had. But unfortunately, look, Liverpool weren't going to offer him the big money because of his age. And Bayern Munich did. And Diaz, I think then, he was never going to stay. Look, it probably was a mistake, and we didn't replace him. You know, Rio Ngomota is only, 17? And I feel sorry for him because he really hit the ground running. He had a great pre-season. He scored against Newcastle. And then it's like, right, that's all you're playing. I mean, I think Rio Ngomota should play against Crystal Palace on Wednesday night. Just play him. Sam says, I agree. We were fortunate to beat them at Anfield. Otherwise, it was 0-0. And when other teams figure them out, it will be 0-0 in most of their games. Yeah, you'd imagine that the set piece thing is not going to last. Even if we had drawn 3 of the last 4, still would have only been 4 points off Arsenal, which wouldn't have sounded the worst. Yeah, that's very true, because we should have held on for a draw against Crystal Palace, Chelsea, and Jesus, Man United. Oh Jesus, that Man United game. We should have at least got a draw in that game. So yeah, that is a good point. The Brentford one was just a disaster from start to finish. That was the one game out of the 4 where we never looked like getting anything. And we still scored 2 goals. Ahmed says, let's not lie, people. If you said to me at the start of the season we would get Isak if we sell Diaz, we would do it in a heartbeat. The lad didn't even have a chance to prove himself yet. Yeah, that's true as well, because Diaz was getting a lot of criticism last season, especially towards the middle of the season. He started the season brilliant. He ended the season brilliant. In the middle of the season, he didn't score, he didn't do anything, and he was getting a lot of criticism. So yeah, that's the thing. I mean, none of us would have turned down Alexander Isak. Not one of us. If somebody said, right, Diaz is gone, we'll get Alexander Isak, we would have said, yeah. Somebody said, right, Darwin Núñez is gone, we'll get Alexander Isak. Absolutely. So the talent is there. Seven points isn't out of the race. Arsenal will drop points. We're out of the race because of the performances, though. You're right, 7 points isn't. You can gain that back. But if the performances continue, you can forget. You know, we're not even challenging if these performances continue. Slot will get them clicking. Yeah, I'm hoping. To me, it's the midfield. If he gets the midfield right, we should be okay. Because at the moment, one of the big problems is the amount of talent in that team. Right, let's say we're attacking. We give away the ball, which is going to happen. It's always going to happen. It's football. But then we concede. Or the opposition gets a corner or a throw in near, in our half. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, that was a disaster. So we're not sustaining attacks. It's almost like the players are kind of getting to the stage now where they're almost a little bit scared to try something, because if we lose the ball, we're wide open in midfield. So you're not going to get confidence that way. So the whole balance of the team is wrong. If he gets the midfield right, it allows the attacking players then to just try things, and they'll know, even if I don't get this pass right, we're going to get the ball back and we'll try it again. Ibu's head, I think, is gone now. He's in Madrid. Don't know why Joe isn't getting a start over him. He played well against Man United. I mean, they all played terrible against Brentford. But that's Kanate for you. I mean, the man could play the best game of his career now against Aston Villa and Real Madrid. And then he could be absolutely woeful against Man City. But that's the way he's always been, like that. I think he's staying. I'll be honest. I think Real Madrid are probably looking at him this season saying, nah, you can keep him. Alan says, Lott should only focus on defensive part of the game. Defence wins you titles. That's why it's Arsenal's to lose now. Yeah, he just needs to say, I'd love for him to come out in an interview and say, right, I've challenged the players to keep a clean sheet against Aston Villa. Forget about scoring goals. Just keep a clean sheet. Miss Prime Mane. Everybody misses Prime Mane. What a player that man was. You know, Salah gets all the plaudits, and rightfully so. He was unbelievable. Mane was world class. He really was. Good night, David. Thanks. Great video, Sean from Expert. Thanks for joining, Sean. Same time next Monday, 8 p.m. Hopefully, we can talk about how Liverpool have turned the corner after beating Aston Villa. What's your thoughts on Wirtz? I mean, I've been very critical of Florian Wirtz, to be honest. I think the physicality of the Premier League is a little bit too much for him at the moment. I don't think it helps the way the team is playing. There definitely is talent there. I don't think he has a lot of confidence at the moment. I don't think Arne Slot knows his best team, which doesn't help Florian Wirtz. And as I said earlier, when he's playing in that number 10 position, he's going to try things. But when he loses the ball, all of a sudden the opposition get a shot or the score. So if he can be playing in a team where the midfield is solid and it allows him to just go out there and express yourself, try things, and even if you have a misplaced pass, Liverpool are going to get the ball back and we'll go again. But at the moment, it's just so end to end that I just think that these players the forward players are almost, they're just not playing their natural game because they know Liverpool are just wide open as soon as they lose the ball. Wirtz should have scored against Brentford. We'll be back in it instantly. He has to hit the target there. That's little things like that. Little things like that. Wirtz must be pushed to Eden Hazard's role. Left centre mid or left attacking mid. Playing him on the right of midfield is absolutely criminal. Yeah, I don't think Arne Slot knows where his best position is. And that's the problem. You know, when he was signed, I was thinking, right, number 10, it's going to be different, but this is the way we're going to play. It's number 10. But he's played on the left. So I think it's all the midfield, people. I think it's the midfield then is solid defensively and it allows the attacking players then to do what they do. But because we're just wide open in midfield, I think defensively we look worse than we actually are. And again, because the midfield is not winning the ball back and we're not sustaining attacks, I think the attack is looking a little bit worse than they actually are. So he just has to get the balance right. I think Arsenal play Sunderland away in a game's time. That would be a tough game for them. Yeah. I mean, will it? I don't think it will. Sunderland are doing brilliant. They really are. Fair play to them. But I'm looking at that fixture. I think Arsenal win that easy. I think they win it easy. I thought Fulham away was a tough game for Arsenal. They won it easy. It's what to do. And I think the mentality of Arsenal now is what Liverpool need to kind of get a bit of. Arsenal are going out into these games and it's almost like they're, right lads, keep a clean sheet. The mentality is keep a clean sheet. They're taking pride in that. And Liverpool need to get a bit of that. Ahmed says, keep the good work, David. Been subscribed for a year now. And you're one of the most underrated Liverpool content creators out there. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. To be honest with you, I'm just being myself. Just being honest. I think that's all you can do on YouTube. Just be honest. And, you know, some people will agree with you, some won't. But you have to be honest. You have to give your honest opinion. And that's what it's about. That's what I try to do. The title was mentally lost at Palace and Arsenal went on to win at Newcastle. Yeah, seems like a big weekend, that one. I mean, Gary Neville was celebrating that Arsenal winner that day because he knew Liverpool wouldn't win it. It looked like a shift in mentality for Arsenal that day. I think if it was last season, they definitely would have dropped points in that game. Fulham are out of form and Palace was tired from Europa. But they're only one top scorer and that is the set piece taker. Yeah, look, I mean, I don't like Arsenal. I don't want Arsenal to win the league. But I'm going to give them a lot of credit because they have some weapon in that set piece. Declan Rice's delivery is unbelievable. And I would love for Liverpool to win a game 1-0, keep the clean sheet, and get a goal from a set piece. Slot is definitely picking favourites in this team. Hate seeing it. Yeah, it's getting to the stage now. Because you wouldn't mind if we were still winning. You know, you never want to change a winning team. But, yeah, it's getting to the stage now. There's so many players that they should not be playing. Christine says, thanks for the great live chat and sweet dreams of Liverpool winning the next 3 games. Hopefully. Hopefully. What time is it, people? 9:30. We'll give another 5 minutes. Back to work tomorrow. I'd love to be a full-time content creator. I really would. But long way off that, people. But we stay going. We stay going. What would your starting 11 be? Right. I'll name this and then we're going to head off. Okay. Starting 11 for the next couple of games. Just because we need to be solid. So it would be, obviously because Alisson is injured, Marmardashvili, Gomez, Van Dijk, Kanate, Andy Robertson, Gravenberch, McAllister, Soboslai, Florian Wirtz on the left, Chiesa instead of Salah, and Ekitike. That's my 11. That to me should play against Aston Villa. I think defensively we're okay. Midfield, you know, it's the midfield of last season. You still have Florian Wirtz on the field. He can cut in. He can do whatever he does. Chiesa then, his enthusiasm, the what he brings, and Ekitike is on fire. But as long as you tell the midfield, just protect the back four, then I think we should be okay. Maka, not Jones. The reason I picked McAllister is when he plays well, he is better than Curtis Jones. And Curtis Jones is a very good player. So, look, the team I picked, when you think about it, the midfield I picked, Gravenberch is not playing well at the moment. McAllister's not playing well. Florian Wirtz is not playing well. So, you could drop them. But, you know, you have to play someone. 3-5-2 against Villa. I don't think he's going to do that. So, would you play the 3 centre halves? Kanate, Van Dijk and Gomez. That's them all, but you've no cover. Suppose Endo could play there. Prediction for tomorrow. Is it tomorrow or Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. I mean, it could be anything because he's going to change the team. But I'm going to say Liverpool win the game. I'm going to say Liverpool win the game 2-0. Chiesa scores and Ekitike. Yeah, Wednesday. Get Maka, Gravenberch to sit. Let's obviously run free. Lincoln McVerts, Hugo and Chiesa. Yeah, that's exactly it. Gravenberch to sit there. Protect the back four. Put McAllister beside him. He can get forward at times. But the main priority is the back four, protecting them. Let's obviously do his thing. Box to box. Never stops running. You have Wirtz on the left. Chiesa on the right. Not his natural position, but the man never stops running. So you'd have that defensive cover as well. And then Ekitike is on fire. So I don't see any problem with that starting 11. But to me, it's all a mentality. You know, the manager needs to tell them, lads, keep a clean sheet. Slot out, Dave in. I think so. But for now, just hit the like button. That'll do. Palace are more bothered about Europa Conference, yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's a cup competition. They won a cup last season. So Glasner will still look at it. Here's a chance to win another trophy. Because, you know, they'll have belief in the cup competitions. So I do think they will change the team. I'd be surprised if they didn't. But we'll have to wait and see. Right, people. I think we're going to call it a night. Thanks very much for joining. Next Monday, same time, 8 p.m. Hopefully, we get to talk about Liverpool's great win and great performance against Aston Villa. But yeah, hopefully, we can beat Crystal Palace on Wednesday and just get back to winning ways. You know, it's getting to the stage now where I don't care about the performance. It's just winning. We just have to start winning again. Because I am sick of these results, sick of these performances. And so yeah, hopefully. We'll have to wait and see, of course. But yeah, thanks for joining, everybody. I'll talk to you all very soon.